Hey gang, so I want to walk you through some of the things that we were going to cover on Tuesday, but weren't able to. First of all, good news, you can all now log in to your system. Demonstrate that with Dr. Starler's account. To log in, I will send you the login URL, but it's always going to be the name of your business .marketingautomation.services. Put in your email address. For Dr. Starler, it's drsusanstarler.com, and the password currently is big time, and you're in. So it'll come up with a tutorial video on completing your company information, but let me just give you the highlights of some places you can nose around. You want to go under this button and go to settings, and it starts with my account. Here you can set your time zone. With Dr. Starler, it's currently set to New York, so we're going to change it to Los Angeles. And you click Update Account Settings. You can certainly go in there and change your password from big time if you like. So that's my account. The next is email syncing and tracking. This is the first step in allowing you to start tracking your visitors and people who are connecting with you. This is not an email system like Gmail. I want to be clear about that. You won't be checking your email on the marketing automation system. It is a tracking system. It's just determining who's emailed you and how often. So it's going to default to Gmail. Dr. Starler, like many of you, are using your own domain. She's using starler.com, so we would change this to custom. Now here's where you're going to need some information from your tech people if you don't have that yourself. When you set up your email client, whichever one you're using to get your email, you have a username, a password, a host name, and a port. Things that if you don't know how to get them, you're going to have to talk to your tech person. Next, under my company is company profile. And here's all the information that I've put in so far about Dr. Starler's business. You can certainly put in your phone number, fax number, and other information. Under user accounts. So currently, Dr. Starler is the only person that can access this. Now, someone else can certainly log in under her name, but if she wants to have someone who has their own user account, it's very simple. Just go to Options, Add User, and I'm going to put in my name. The next one is important. For the time being, when you add someone new, just add them as site admin. Each one of these gives a varying degree of access to the site, but for now, if you're going to add someone new, let's give them full access. As you grow your business, as you bring more people on, you're going to want to give them more limited access, but now let's give someone full access. Leave everything else the same and click Save Changes. And there I am. And as you can see, a temporary password has been emailed to me. But I can go in here under Edit, and I can give this person, I can give myself a password. So when you add someone on, you can give them their own password. That's important because when you give someone less limited access, you're going to want to create a password for them that they can't change themselves. So you change your password to whatever you want, go down and click Save Changes. Now, let's say that Dr. Starler is sick and tired of me muscling my way into her system. So she goes here and she deactivates me. Now, she can go back and activate it later. It's not completely deleted, but for now, myself as that user would no longer have access to her system. Next item down in settings is billing info. You don't have to worry about that because you're paying me directly. After that is audit log. This is the log of what you've been doing on the system. So this is really helpful if you have a lot of people who are accessing the system, you have a large company and there's a lot of people accessing it, you can see what everybody's done. Next, under features are things that mostly we'll be using later. Custom fields, email settings, lead scores. I'll take a quick look at that. So in lead scores, one of the things that I had talked about previously is that as people interact with your system, they get scores. They get more points the more interaction they have. The more points they have, the more likely they are to convert to a customer. Now the system is set up with scores already selected. However, this is something that we can change and augment as we go. For instance, as you can see, most of these scores are just 1 point. If somebody puts their first or last name in, they get a point. If they put in their company name in, they get a point. It's 1 point because it really isn't much of a commitment. However, down here, if somebody completes an entire form, they get 15 points because now we know they're more committed. Down here for each media view, currently it's giving them 1 point. Well, let's say that you had 3 videos and you believe that if somebody watches your video, it means that they're a lot more likely to buy. Well, then we want to give them a lot more points in that case. So maybe we give them 15 points for watching a video. Again, this is something that we'll be experimenting with and talking about as we go. Opportunity stages. This is your pipeline. This is your sales pipeline. You can think of your sales pipeline sort of like following a map. A pipeline is to take a potential client from where they are, either not knowing about your company or just casually knowing about it, all the way to being a purchasing customer. This pipeline is the roadmap of making that happen. And products, well, if we have specific products, we'll be adding them here. But let's get to something that's a lot more important for us currently, and that's tracking. So we want to go to tracking and click on sites. So here we can see Dr. Starler's site. Also, Dr. Starler, if she has another side business, she can add another site on this to be tracked. So she would just go to Options, Add Site, and here we'd put in the name of the site, what type of site it is, and the URL, and click Add Site. Most importantly, what we want to do is start tracking her site. We want to know who's coming to it. So we're going to click on Starler, then we're going to click Tracking Code, and here it is. Now, what do you do with this code? Well, very simply, you paste this code before the closing head tag of your website. Now, if you have no idea what that means, then you need to get this code to your developer. Very simply, just click in here, select all, copy, and then paste it into an email or a text doc. If your site is a WordPress site and you know how to get into the client management system of it, I have a WordPress widget that makes it really easy to install this tracking code. But again, this should only be done if you know your way around web development. The rest of these items under tracking, dynamic web content, dynamic email content, shopping carts, all this, we're going to get deeper into this as I explain the system and as we start using it. So I don't want to overload you probably any more than I already have. It's going to take us a little while, but the more we use it, the more comfortable you'll get with it, and I'm always here to help. So the next thing I want to show you is how to upload an email list, which I will do in the very next video. We'll see you there.